What's up, everybody? It is the long-awaited return of the Jaws of Life. Welcome back. A lot to get you guys caught up on. Hope you saw on the previous screen there, different logo, changing things up. Got to keep it fresh, got to keep it hot, and keep it interesting. So here you go. Let's start this thing up. Let's start it right, coming in hot. All right, first things first. The idea of what is a professional? Okay, so usually when you talk about things, like I'm going to speak from the sporting realm. Okay, so I play / played / question mark with. If you all know what's been going on with me, you know why those are question marks, and play or played. Hardball, baseball, like real baseball, not slow pitch softball, not modified softball, not like hardball, baseball, over the top, throw the white ball with the red laces, baseball. And it's a 25 and over league, and it is amateur baseball. And the reason it's amateur baseball, despite our age and despite the fact that there are former pros in the league, is because we don't get paid to be there. So if we played in a league where like you were under contract with a team and you got paid to play and stuff like that, like you'd be considered a professional. That's like, knowing how to be a plumber and doing plumbing stuff, but you do it on the side pro bono. I wouldn't necessarily consider you a professional plumber. You get paid to be a plumber. You're probably a professional plumber. So there's another realm of other sports that goes hand in hand with the word professional, and I don't necessarily understand all of it, but I see like bodybuilding friends of mine and stuff like that always saying they're going for their pro card and stuff like that, and it basically it's a status, and a lot of these people, from what I can see, end up getting paid through different sponsorships, through different company backings. I don't necessarily know if they get paid to compete. Maybe they get paid if they place, show, or win. I'm not positive on that part. I've never really done extensive research on the entire philosophy there, but and I know that like there's a different, when you go from being like an amateur fighter to a pro fighter, there ends up being, purses for winning and stuff like that, and people are far more apt to like sponsor a pro fighter as opposed to an amateur fighter. Not always necessarily, but from time to that does seem to be the case. And there tends to be professional contracts involved and things like that. So when I think professional, I can't help but think like a higher, even the lowest rungs of the highest level where you get paid to do what you do. The guy playing in some low-end independent league hardball team that gets $150 a week to play baseball is still technically a professional baseball player. And I saw a thing the other day that was bragging about somebody becoming a professional at, not to call anybody out or not to like put anybody's shit on blast, but like it would be like saying I got promoted to be a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player. So like I walk around with my little battle disc on my wrist, and it's time to duel and slap my cards in, and the points come up and I play the cards and the monsters pop out. That's not a thing. I don't think though like they actually have projectable holograms of monsters or anything for Yu-Gi-Oh. If they do, I would totally get back into playing it because that would be sweet. And I don't want it to be a video game like on the Xbox machine. I want it to be like actual super-sized monsters that like attack each other and stuff. Another story for another time. But like, I don't understand like how are you a professional of that unless you get paid to do it. Because here's a game where like you pay money to play and buy the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and buy the decks and spend money to build your deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards the way you want them to go. And I can speak on this because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger, so like I know how that part works. But like, unless you're getting paid by somebody to play it, how are you a pro? Like, how are you a professional trading card game player? I don't understand. And like, does that mean because like the Jaws of Life has more than like one subscriber that I'm a professional video blogger? Is this my professional vlog? I mean, it might be, but I should start making my bet again when I do this because that doesn't look professional. I should probably like hang these things a little straighter. I can see, I can see that they're kind of like, jig-jagged up there. I don't think jig-jagged's a word, but I just like, what is the deal with throwing the word professional on stuff all the time? Like, why do we constantly need to be pros at stuff without actually like there being a measuring stick for being a professional? Like, you sign a contract and get paid to play baseball at a professional level. That means like it's right. It's in the title. You sign a contract to play professional baseball. You sign a contract to play professional football. Like, even some of this, like they're called semi-pro leagues in the area. They're basically the football equivalent of like the hardball that I play. And I've heard stories of like guys getting paid to play, like guys who are super, super talented or who have a really good pedigree. Like, oh, I played 5 years of D1 football at a pretty big D1 school in a big D1 conference. So when I choose to play the 3 or 4 or 5 games my lazy ass decides to show up to and play, like they kick me like 100 or 200 bucks a game. But at the same time, the dude next to me is not getting paid a dime, and he shows up to every game and every practice. Like, you're not a professional because you're being paid as a contractor at that point. Like, everybody should be like, if you want to consider yourself a professional and be in a professional league of that kind, like, you would have to tell me that everybody on your team and everybody in your league is getting paid, not you and 4 other dudes on your team that get paid when they show up and everybody else is shit out of luck. I don't know. The whole concept of just being a professional, it's like the idea of somebody at one point back when the when the gym and stuff was what it used to be. Somebody once made the comment that everybody wants a title but nobody wants to work. Like, everyone wants to be a pro at something but nobody wants to like put in the work and dedication to actually become a professional at something. Like, usually when you become a pro at something that like you're competing with other people to become a pro in, it means you're elite. It means you're high end. It doesn't mean you spent the most money. It doesn't mean that like, from this point on, I guess I'm just gonna deem myself a professional video blogger because here I am video blogging, and I get likes and follows and watches and stuff. Like, can somebody help me out here? Is there something that can be, that like we can touch on to like kind of put this in perspective for me? I'm confused. I'm asking questions. I'm asking you, the people, for the help. Let me know. All right, my next topic. It's finally time. We're so close. We're getting there. I have a schedule printed out. It's sitting right here on my printer. The Bills season's finally almost here. I think we're 20-ish, 19-ish days away from opening day. We got 2 preseason games left and then time to go to work. And, the topic that's on everybody's mind, whoa, what's up with our quarterback situation? Now, I'm no professional sports analyst because I don't get paid to analyze sports. See how that works? I will analyze sports. I will give you my opinion. I'm not a professional, so take this with a grain of salt. So, from the time we drafted Josh Allen, it was like a highly controversial pick, I guess we'll say, that we should have traded up and picked somebody else, or, traded up for, somebody that people thought was going to be better. And I'll be honest with you, everything I've seen out of this kid so far in the two games that he's gotten action, and I like. First off, homeboy's got a cannon. He's got an absolute fucking howitzer. That thing is locked, loaded, and ready to rip. Second, he's way more athletic than I think anybody ever gave him credit for. Some of the people and some of the moves he put on and made people miss and just made people look foolish in the first one was unbelievable. He almost, like, had he not had another dude jump on his back, he would have been able to flip a pass to an open receiver while stiff arming and dragging a dude while running away and half backpedaling. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And I think he was maybe very undervalued in the draft. And I'm okay with it because I was not overly impressed with Baker Mayfield. I mean, when we saw him play, his throws weren't really accurate. He looked like he had happy feet. Everyone was saying he's going to be one of the, NFL ready guys coming out, and I wasn't overly impressed. That being said, props to the Browns for, designing a plan for a Tyrod Taylor team. Run, safe pass, run, safer pass, run, touchdown. That's how you're going to win games with the guy. You better hope your running game works. But I mean, that being said, there are a lot of questions like who's going to be the starter come week 1. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be Nathan Peterman. I think Allen is well ahead of where anybody thought he was going to be. I think he's made a lot more progress than people think he was going to make. I think he looks better than people thought he was going to look. I think they're going to roll the dice with Nathan Peterman to start. I think Peterman has made great strides. I think he's come a long-ass way from the kid that threw 5 interceptions in the first half of a game last year, which I will still say was one of the smartest moves that our coaching staff made last year, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I think Peterman starts. I think he's just got that, let Peterman take the reins and let Allen sit back, watch, learn, observe, and get better, and just keep working and keep repping, and just don't throw him to the wolves when we have some question marks on the offensive line. Even if he sits the entire year and Peterman does just okay and we have an average year this year, and then next year we're able to boost our offensive line a little bit more and get him maybe one big receiver. I think we're one big receiver and some better guys from the center left is I think what we need to pick up on. We get those 3 guys and 1 receiver and we're in the shit. All right, I think we're in it to compete hard with anybody and everybody. And I think Allen's that future. But I think we need to roll Peterman first. I think Peterman's going to start. I think Peterman should start. And not because I think Peterman's better, but I think it's what's best for the team in the long run. That being said, I touched on the concept of the benching of Tyrod for Peterman last year and Peterman having that atrocious showing. I stand firm on that was one of the smartest moves the Bills made last year. I think it woke Tyrod up a little bit. I think Tyrod came back from that a little bit different player, saying, you know what, yeah, you're right, I'm not turning the ball over. Yeah, I'm not throwing interceptions. I'm safe with the football, but I'm not really going out and taking over the game either. I'm not really, I'm not turning the ball over because I'm not taking chances down the field. I'm not throwing interceptions because I'm not trying to take contested throws. I don't care if you complete every pass you throw, but you only gain 2 to 3 yards of pop on the throw. It doesn't really matter. I will, as a defense, I'll take that all day. I will stuff the run, let you throw these little 1, 2, and 3 yard dink and dunk passes, and guess what? Every 3 downs, you're punting the football. Because that you can't win football games that way. You have to throw the ball downfield. You have to take chances. Brady takes chances. Rodgers takes chances. Favre took more chances than he probably ever should have. Every quarterback that's ever done anything well and won football games, yes, you can win with a game-managing quarterback, but he still has to throw the ball downfield. He still has to throw the ball down the middle of the field. He still has to take a chance from time to time. It's just being safe when you take those chances. And I think when we benched Tyrod last year and we put Peterman in, it woke Tyrod up because he started taking more chances down the field. He started taking shots and he started trying to just extend the field vertically more. And I think it was I think it was a turning point for our season. Would it have been really, really awesome if we came out and didn't have to win our last game and then hope and pray for a miracle from the Bengals to make the playoffs last year? That would have been fantastic. But you know what? That's what we did, and we made the playoffs anyway. So I think from a long run standpoint, I think that was what was best for the team. And I think our coaching staff has been fantastic with those decisions. I couldn't be happier with what I've seen from McDermott. And every time you turn around, you see him like, oh my God, we got rid of Sammy Watkins, who, I mean, I guess we'll see what he does this year. Oh my God, we got rid of Mr. Big Stuff. Well, we turned out to be geniuses there. Like, yeah, he's one of a few guys down in Jacksonville, and now he's got some legal troubles, I understand. I mean, it just seems like every time we ship somebody off, it ends up being a smart move for us. And the guys that we have in and that we have going on, I mean, yeah, losing Eric Wood to an early retirement and whatever the hell Richie Incognito went through with all that crap, like, yeah, that sucks, but you can't really plan for that. But everything else that they've done has been spot the fuck on, and I'm on board, and I love it. And if I have one say on anything, I don't care who, what, where, when, or how it's got to happen, but if Nick O'Leary is not on the Bills team this year, I'm going to be very, very upset. That dude is downright nitty-gritty, and I love it. That dude, like Charles Clay, does not look like he wants to block. There was a play in the preseason game the other day where he, was coming across the formation and trying to block for Shady, put two hands on a guy and kind of like, meh. And that dude made the play in the backfield, and when the cameras panned to his face, he had this look like, I'm not supposed to be blocking, what the hell? And Nick O'Leary's not that guy. Oh, and Nick O'Leary just happens to catch passes like it's his goddamn job. No sleeves, no gloves, no fucks given. That dude goes out and balls. And if he doesn't make our team, it's going to be heartbreaking. Because I haven't seen much from anybody else that makes them stand out the way Nick O'Leary has stood out the last 2 years to me. And especially the last game when he actually got time on the field in the preseason game. But that's my take on where the Bills are at right now. Hopefully, in the very, very near future, I know I keep talking about this, I just got to get my man T on board and figure out what we're doing with it. Hopefully the Sports Talk podcast, yet to be named because we're trying to figure out the logistics and whatnot. Hopefully that gets off the ground in the next week or two. I'm just, I got a lot more free time on my hands right now. I'm just trying to figure out, when I can get my co-hosting compatriots to do this with me and rock and roll. So, all right. I mean, that's my Bills talk. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the NFL and touch on some political bullshit. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? All right. So this is probably going to be my last segment, mostly based on the fact that it's going to touch on a hot button topic, and I don't know how long I'm going to take with it. I've been pretty quick with this one. I'm trying to keep things rolling here. I read an article the other day that was about the people think that the guys who are protesting the anthem and kneeling down are that they need to take their game to the next level. Maybe it's just me, but I haven't seen much coverage of it. I haven't seen the anthem really played much on TV. I don't know if that's a strategic move by the NFL where they're like, hey, go to commercial during the Star Spangled Banner. It's for the people in attendance. People at home really don't care about, like, not that we don't care about it, but like, you're getting your snacks together, you're, filling up your plate with pizza and stuff, and, like, let's come back and have them, like, lining up for the opening kickoff instead of, the fanfare or the pregame, like, whatever. And again, maybe it's just a preseason thing that I haven't noticed it, but, basically the article read that because the protests and the kneeling are kind of, people are just kind of used to it by now and it's just kind of getting ignored, that maybe the protesters need to step up their game. And by doing so, they were talking about like, oh, if you make a sack and you have that time to celebrate a little bit, or you intercept the ball and you can celebrate a little bit, or you score a touchdown, and instead of doing an elaborate team celebration, which in my opinion were some of the funnest moments of the year last year, were the pre-planned team celebrations where all the boys get together and, 10 guys stand there, one guy rolls the ball and they all fall down for a strike, or the game of duck duck goose, or the games of leapfrog, whatever the hell that they had going on for the celebrations. Like, I thought it was awesome. And now you got some jackwagon who was part of the Occupy movement, which neither here nor there. Saying his whole thing that was, when they were doing the Occupy movement, when there were like town hall meetings and stuff, that they would just mic check people. I don't know exactly what they mean by mic check, but like, people were so not used to that they would, like, it would just bring the meeting to a halt. And after a while, people just got so used to it that after like a year or year and a half, it stopped working. People just like, okay, all right, you done? Back to action. Like, well, all right, this is where we were, blah, blah, blah. And it stopped being effective because people just stopped acknowledging it. And if that's the case with the NFL, is they're saying that these players who want to protest should bring their protests to the next level. And I'm not here to argue that there are or are not social injustices. I'm not here to argue that whether or not there are racist cops out there. I know that there are racist people out there. I'm sure some of them end up in uniform, and I'm sure that some decisions that are made here or there have a racial bias to them. Again, that's as far as I'm going to go on my beliefs and my thoughts on the whole thing. But as far as expanding the protests to beyond the anthem, to start hijacking the game of football, my issue with that is, now I've been a lifelong football fan. I was a Bills fan for as long as I can remember. I remember listening in the car when the games were blacked out because we were 3-10 on the year, and we're playing some trash ass team at the end of some trash ass season, and we're just pissing the game away with Alex Van Pelt under quarterback, but still listening to the game to the last quarter and just like wondering why are we so bad? Why are we suffering through this? And not getting it, but still being a fan. And I can tell you that if every time a guy makes a tackle, records a sack, an interception, a touchdown, becomes some political action, it becomes some political protest, you're gonna lose me as a football fan. It's gonna be bad enough with some of the bullshit penalties that are gonna be called. The second man in to bring a guy down. Because I'm sorry, when I got a guy that's holding on to someone's hips and that second guy can't come in to finish the playoff, and you're not headhunting, you're not trying to tear somebody's head off, but like, you can't even be the second guy in to knock him to the ground, and all of a sudden that receiver, who some of these guys are built like a brick shithouse, just chops it, keeps his feet chopping and runs through it, and all of a sudden takes off for a touchdown because that second guy couldn't finish the play. You're taking away from the game of football, in my opinion. There was a play the other day where a clean defensive end, outside linebacker, whoever it was from the Vikings, came in unblocked and clean, shoulder to the chest, head off to the side, hit the quarterback, and like, his knee was the first thing that hit the ground, and then the quarterback went down with him, and he got flagged for roughing the passer. I mean, it's bad enough when like a hand comes over top when you're trying to swat a ball and like just grazes the helmet or something, and they call that. Those are bad enough. And I call those Brady penalties. But like, this was brutal. This was a clean form tackle for a sack that gained the offense 15 yards. Like, you basically got 15 yards for not blocking a guy. It's going to be bad enough with that. But now every time a guy scores, he's going to, hold up a sign or hand out a petition or do something to protest some kind of social injustice or some kind of political action. You know what? You want to make a statement, you want to do something. I can't do personal things and voice personal vendettas to a public audience while I'm on the clock at my job. And very, 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 very few other people can. So when I'm paying to be at a game and paying good money to be at a game, I want to watch football. I want to see a guy score a touchdown and celebrate. not score a touchdown and protest something politically. You want to go protest something politically, you want to go do something, go be part of an actual community action. Like, use the millions and millions and millions of dollars that my ticket money is going to pay your fucking salary, and get cameras on you, get media to follow you. You can pay these stations and these people with cameras. I don't give a shit. Pay me. I got a camera sitting right friggin' here that I'm waiting to do shit with. And you know what? Pay me. I'll tape you. You can say, do, and feel however the fuck you want to say, do, and feel. And I'll put it on here. I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll put it on Instagram. And you will be seen and heard by the world. Or my little corner of it, at least. And I guarantee you, if there's enough people that believe in what you think, it'll go viral and the world will see it. And you know what? It'll probably be better than whatever some news coverage bullshit's going to be anyway. So, you know what? Play football when you're paid to play football. You know, some of these guys may not agree with what Dak Prescott says and what Dak's stance is. But, you know, we're lucky to be playing the sport for a living. We're lucky that we're not in the workforce with the average run-of-the-mill human being. And these people who are the run-of-the-mill average human beings who are paying the money to be here to watch us play, want to be here to watch us play. They don't want to be here to watch us get on a soapbox and preach political bullshit. If you want to be in the political spectrum, go run for fucking office. And I probably won't watch you then either. But until then, play football. Enjoy the game that you're being paid millions and millions of dollars to play. And leave your political BS out of it. Because you know what? When I go to a game on Sunday, I go there to hang out and tailgate with my girlfriend, my best friend, his old man who's a good friend of mine, and some other people. And then go into, like, we drink, we eat, we're merry, we're happy. Then we go into the stadium, and we watch the game we love for the team that we've been supporting since we've all been alive. And the last thing we want to do is sit there and go, oh, politics. If I wanted to do that, I'd sit on my ass and just troll Facebook all day, because some of the friends that I have on here do nothing but post about politics. You know what? If I wanted to do that, I wouldn't be paying money for season tickets, because Facebook's fucking free. Shut the fuck up and play football. That's all I want. That's all I want. I just want you to shut up and play football. Have your protests, have whatever you got to do on your time, on your dime, not on mine. That's all I want.